Well, hello and welcome to episode 26 of The Eagle's Nest, the audio retelling of Charlie Suprasinski's great book, Soaring with the Eagles, the Copper Peak Story. And we are now back in 1985, and the Wolverine Nordic Ski Club had successfully constructed a new 35-meter hill to help transition young skiers to the bigger hills and eventually and hopefully to Copper Peak. So with a number of newly recruited young skiers, the Wolverine Club was able to participate in a number of junior meets held in the Central Division. Rich Aho, one of the board members who joined the organization a year earlier, purchased a personal van that he could use to transport skiers. Little did he realize at this time that this would be a 10-year undertaking, as he would shortly be elected to a leadership position as president of the club. For the first time in nearly 10 years since the days of jumping in the Iron Bowl in the caves, junior skiers would participate in sanctioned competitions. The club would send 5 junior and 3 senior skiers to participate in Ishpeming on January 12th and 13th of 85. The juniors would be competing on the 15-meter hill, and the seniors would ride in an open class on the 50-meter hill. For a first competition, results were impressive. Max Doman would take first on both Saturday and Sunday. Bart Somerville would place 5th on Saturday and 2nd on Sunday. Tom DiNicenzo placed 3rd on Saturday and 5th on Sunday, and Ricky Braspenick would place 6th on Saturday and 5th on Sunday. Steve Aho placed 3rd in the 10-meter event. John Coos was top honors in the 50-meter open senior event, with Joe Gindrich and Guy Orlich competing also. And John Coos would continue his winning ways with a first-place finish in the veterans class at the 98th running of the Suicide Hill Tournament on Sunday, February 17th of 85. Coos also placed 3rd on Saturday in the meet won by Greg Winsberger. Steve Urkela placed 2nd, and Dave Engstrom placed 4th on Saturday. All familiar names in Midwest ski jumping circles. Plans of the Wolverine Club included the sponsoring of a junior meet on Saturday and a senior meet, the 34th annual tournament on Sunday, the weekend of March 9th, 10th, 1985. Nearly 80 jumpers were expected to participate on both days. The Wolverine Club would be represented by 8 juniors and 3 senior jumpers. 4 classes of juniors would compete on the 10-meter hill, the newly constructed 35-meter hill, and the 50-meter hill. Nearly 2,000 spectators would enjoy the 2-day event held under nearly ideal weather conditions. The results of the junior division competition on Saturday can be found in the appendix of Charlie's book. Wolverine juniors performed quite well. On the 10-meter hill, Tom DiNicenzo placed 5th in the age 9 and under group, with Joe Riggs placing 1st and Rick Braspenick placing 5th in the age 10 and older class. On the 30-meter hill, Class 3 boys aged 12 to 13, Max Doman placed 3rd and Bart Somerville placed 4th. The medal winners of the Class 1 boys aged 16 to 17 jumping on the 50-meter hill were Steve Seidel of Duluth, Dave Solner of Madison, and Pat Hamler of Eau Claire. The successful events of the Wolverine Club were recognized. The Wolverine Ski Club was commended for outstanding performance during the 84-85 season at the annual panel meeting of the Central Division of the United States Ski Association. Wolverine was acclaimed for its successful tournaments for both junior and senior jumpers. The panel cited Wolverine for its progress in developing junior jumping. And on the basis of its record, the Wolverine Club was designated by the panel to host the Class 2 Jumping Championships of the Central Division, USSA, on February 8, 1986. The panel also asked the Wolverine Club to host the Junior Olympic Class II tryouts for the Central Division on February 9th, 1986. During the summer months of '85, work continued on the 35-meter hill by enlarging it with a small scaffold on the hilltop. The enlarged hill would make the transition to the 50-meter hill easier for young jumpers. The Wolverine Club had plans for a busy season. Lights had been installed on the hills, making it possible for evening skiing. Practice sessions for both the junior and senior ski jumpers were planned for the Christmas season in December of '85. At Wolverine Hill, 8 junior skiers continued to show improvement, as the first 3 places were won in Junior Class 3 by Wolverine skiers. Max Doman, Robert Riggs, and Bart Somerville in the Rabbit Ears class on the 20-meter hill. Tom DiNicenzo placed 12th, and Steve Aho placed 14th in the field of 23 riders. Dory Aho would place 7th in a field of 13 on the 10-meter Bunny Ears hill. In the senior masters class, Dave Engstrom was 2nd, John Coos was 6th, followed by Joe Gendrich's 9th place finish. At a dual meet in the Twin Cities, Bart Somerville placed 7th in boys class 2 at Minneapolis the weekend of January 11th and 12th, 1986. The following day in St. Paul, Max Doman was 1st in class 3 and Joe Riggs placed 4th. Bart Somerville placed 4th in class 2. The Junior Central Division Championships were run at Wolverine on Sunday with competition on the 35-meter hill. The top 3 in Class 2 were Kurt Stein of Madison, Eric Hyatt Iron Mountain, and Brent Beadle of Ishpeming. Class 3, Max Doman, Ironwood, Trevor Olsvik, Madison, and John Shopbell of St. Paul. Class 4, competing on the 20-meter hill, Ironwood skiers Tom DiNicenzo placed 7th and Steve Aho was 8th. In 1986, John Coos sets a new Masters record. The old cliché, a good wine improves with age, might have its parallel in the ski jumping world, as a new Masters class record of 351 feet was set by John Coos at Iron Mountain on Saturday, February 15, 1986. John was 37 years old at the time. His record-setting leap helped him earn first place in Saturday's competition with 2 solid leaps of 3:05 and 3:02. Coos would earn second place on Sunday. In setting the new record, John would break the record of 341 feet set by Jim Mackey at the National Ski Jumping Championships in Lake Placid, New York, in January of 1986. And at the time of Charlie writing this book, John Coos owned the National Veterans Class record of 351 feet that he set in 1986. John Coos has set the Masters record 7 times since 1978, his first for the Masters class record in Leavenworth, Washington, jumping 265 feet, and then set it again with 270 feet in a leap the same day. In February of 1978, he set a new record with a jump of 285 feet. Again, he broke his own record the same day with a jump of 292 feet at Iron Mountain, and in 1982, he set the record again, this time twice by leaping 295 and 305 at Iron Mountain in February 18th, 1986. And Max Doman continued his winning ways in the junior meet at Wisconsin Rapids on Saturday, February 15th of 1986. This would be his 3rd first-place finish of the season in boys Class 3, which is ages 12 to 13. He would place 3rd in the all-class event on Sunday. Other Wolverine successes at the meet included Bart Somerville's 4th place finish in Class 2, Tom DiNicenzo's 3rd place finish, and Steve Aho's 6th place finish in Class 4. Dory Aho earned a 7th place finish in the open class on the 20-meter hill. A 2-day weekend of skiing was scheduled at Wolverine for March 8th and 9th of '86. On Saturday, the juniors would jump on the 10, 20, and 35-meter hills. A cross-country race following the ski jumping rounded out the Saturday program. The 35th annual Wolverine Invitational Tournament, sponsored by McDonald's, would follow on that Sunday. The Wolverine Ski Club recognized the work and support of those who volunteered their time and resources in support of the organization. Plaques showing appreciation for donated work on behalf of the Wolverine Nordic Ski Club Junior and Senior jumping programs were presented to 2 area businessmen at a recent ceremony. Ed Lochner, a director of Wolverine, presents a plaque to Jim Sobalski Besmer for earth-moving work done on the 20 and 30-meter jump sites and for contouring the hill. Rich Aho presents Bob Fisher, manager of McDonald's of Ironwood, with a plaque recognizing his sponsorship of the Junior Olympic Jumping Tryouts and the USSA Central Division Jumping Championships, and for donating trophies for the Wolverine Nordic Club's annual Invitational Championships. The individuals responsible for the success of Nordic skiing at Wolverine were re-elected to leadership positions at the annual meeting of the club on October 7th of '86. Rich Aho was elected president of the Wolverine Nordic Ski Club. Arnie Hapia was re-elected vice president, with Roger Pecuri being re-elected secretary, and John Coos was renamed treasurer. Tom Dolman and Martin O'Hearn were elected to the board of directors. Other board members were Guy Orlich, Dave Padula, and Ed Lochner. The Wolverine Ski Club had enjoyed a most successful season. Efforts continued to upgrade the Wolverine site, with the building of a new stairs to assist skiers to the top of the hill. Brush cutting, bridge maintenance, and other repairs were made to the cross-country trails. Repairs were also made to a washout on the landing slope of the 50-meter hill due to a heavy rain. And 1987 was a busy season for the Wolverine Club. To open the season, junior skiers would capture 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and 1/3 at Duluth's Chester Park on Saturday, January 3rd, 1987. Max Doman would cop first place on the 45-meter hill in Class 2, and Joe Riggs would win the open class on the 20-meter hill. In Class 3, Robert Riggs would earn 3rd, while in Class 4, 3 Wolverine skiers would place high. Tom DiNicenzo was 2nd, Steve Aho 5th, Brad Clemens were 7th. In Class 5, Philip Glachek would place 2nd. In the senior division masters class, John Coos placed 3rd, and Dave Engstrom 4th. The skiers moved to Ely, Minnesota for a meet on Sunday. Another strong showing was had by Team Wolverine. Max Doman would record jumps of 42 and 48 meters, his first rides on a 60-meter hill. John Coos would place 5th in the senior division masters class. On the 40-meter hill, Jamie Jayala would place 1st in junior class 1. Max Doman would capture a 1st in class 2. Bart Somerville would earn a 4th place finish, while Robert Riggs would place 5th in Class 3. In Class 4, on the 20-meter hill, Tom DiNicenzo placed 5th, Brad Clemens 9th, and Steve Aho 10th. Sister Dory Aho would place 7th in a field of 14 in the 20-meter open class. Philip Glachek placed 4th in Class 5. John Coos and Max Doman would compete in Madison on Saturday, January 17th, and Chicago on Sunday, the 18th. Coos would capture a 1st in the Masters Division at Madison and a 5th place finish at the Central Championship in Chicago. His flight of 57 meters, which is 189 feet, was the longest in the Masters class. Doman would garnish 6th place at Madison in the junior class. This would be his first real tests on larger hills. That same weekend in Duluth, junior jumpers would compete at the Chester Bowl on the 30-meter hill. Wolverine skiers Robert Riggs, Jamie Gila, and Joe Riggs would place 3rd, 5th, and 15th, respectively. The annual junior Kiwanis meet at Chester Bowl in Duluth on March 1st would be a tune-up for the National Junior Championships, scheduled for Ely, Minnesota, March 3rd through the 7th, 1987. At Duluth, Max Doman would place 2nd, and Bart Somerville would earn 5th in Class 2. Robert Riggs would capture 3rd in Class 3. On Saturday, February 21st, 1987, John Coos claimed his 4th Masters title at Pine Mountain in Iron Mountain. His performance would equal the number of Masters titles earned by his close friend and fellow competitor Dave the Green Hornet Engstrom. The extraordinary success of both John and Dave at Pine Mountain was only exceeded in the 5 Masters titles earned by Dr. Don Hurst of Ishpeming on that same hill. All 3 jumpers exemplified the best in the sport of ski jumping. And listen to this. In 1987, on plastic, yes, I said on plastic, at Iron Mountain on July 18th and 19th, Ironwood skiers scored well in a training camp and competition. Bart Somerville placed 2nd in boys Class 1, and Max Doman and Robert Riggs took the top 2 spots in Class 2. One more event was scheduled in 1987 when the junior skiers participated in a training camp and competition on Ely, Minnesota's 40-meter plastic hill. Yes, I said plastic again, on July 26th, and that was 1987. In Class 1, Bart Somerville would place 6th. Eric Hyatt of Iron Mountain won top honors in Class 2, while Robert Riggs placed 2nd and Max Doman 5th. And isn't it amazing? Here we are in the 2020s, a whole new century, and almost 40 years ago, back in 1987, they were not only talking about a plasticized hill, but they had 2 of them in action and functioning back in 1987, and that bodes well for what they're planning at our own Copper Peak. And with that happy note and a little bit of more knowledge than we thought we'd have, that concludes the time we have for this episode of The Eagle's Nest. This is your narrator, Dan McMahon, inviting you to join us again for the next episode of The Eagle's Nest. There are several ways to see and hear us. If you have a smart TV or a smartphone or tablet, you can download the YouTube app and use the 4 search terms, Copper Peak Eagle's Nest. Our Copper Peak episodes are there all the time, and the episodes are labeled consecutively and will run sequentially. In other words, when you finish one episode, the next episode will play. Also, you can see and hear episodes on your phone or browser at the following URL: www.youtube.com/@CopperPeak784. All the episodes are labeled. Don't forget to like and subscribe us. It's free, and it won't cost you anything, and it helps us. And as you may know, Copper Peak has a live streaming site with live webcams at our Copper Peak Hill site that you can access by going directly to the live cam at www.twitch.tv/copper_peak. Eagle's Nest episodes play on or near the half hour. The live cam features views of the Copper Peak facility, as well as a view of the surrounding terrain and Lake Superior from atop the Copper Peak Tower, plus news and homemade entertainment and historical narratives by Charlie Supersinski the author of Soaring with the Eagles, the Copper Peak story on which this narrative is based. We're also on Copper Peak Radio on 102.1 FM at 6:08 a.m. and p.m. and 11:08 a.m. and p.m. Central Time. Copper Peak Radio is a low-power FM station, so you need to be within a few miles from Copper Peak to hear it. Charlie's book is available at the Depot Historical Society Museum and Chamber of Commerce office in Ironwood, and also at the Downtown Art Place in Ironwood. Once again, thanks for joining us here at the Eagle's Nest. See you the next time, and think Copper Peak. Bye now.